to Down the Lines, episode number 32.
That's right, 32.
32.
It's here
Right now. Live.
Boom.
It's exciting. We didn't know you were there. We had to do the dramatic turn. We noticed you're watching there, and then had to, I guess, start talking sports.
There was something on that cabinet that got our attention and forgot you were back here.
Right.
But, this week, Down the Lines, episode 2, season 3.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Season 3, episode 2.
That's right.
Episode 32. Here we go.
We don't want to take 6 minutes to talk about sports, so we're going to get right into it.
We're going to get right into it. We're going to go with baseball, basketball. We're going to throw in some golf because we want to talk about what y'all want to hear. That is the way we do this. That's how this thing runs.
Right, and if there's one thing that I've heard, feedback from the show, it's more golf.
More golf, always. Always more golf.
So let's jump right into it.
Yes.
LSU baseball.
The baseball team.
A rocky start.
Absolutely.
2-2 going into the weekend series against Texas. They lose the series against Notre Dame last weekend due to some faulty starting pitching.
Unfortunately.
But we pick up some momentum.
Which we were meant to talk about last week, but we went on a small hiatus that we promised we wouldn't do, but we promised we won't do it again.
Family emergency. Things happen.
You know
these things happen. But, LSU picked up some momentum against UNO during the midweek game.
Yes, they did.
And that led them into Texas this weekend at the box, which, can I tell you how excited I was for the Longhorns?
Yes.
The
Longhorns, 6 national championships.
Yep.
LSU, 6 national championships, tied for second most all time. The history of these two programs meeting up in a non-conference regular season match is just phenomenal. A phenomenal thing that happened. First time they've met since the 2009 national championship, which just happens to be LSU's last national championship.
Yeah. And
they took the ball and they kept rolling with it with the momentum from the 2009 national championship and not from last weekend.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, they totally took that 2009 momentum right into this weekend.
Yes.
The biggest disappointment, perhaps, from that opening weekend with Notre Dame was the starting pitching.
Yeah,
most notably Zach Hess, who did not perform well, and he was a question mark going into the season because he played the wild thing role of closer last year when the Tigers were in Omaha. So a lot of fans were uncertain about how he would do in a starting role.
And a lot of their questions seemed to be answered with they thought Zach Hess is just going to need to be in the bullpen. He cannot be a starter. He's not going to be able to last that long. He puts too many pitches in the strike zone. He does too much, gives too much into every single pitch. He's not going to be able to last for 6 innings.
Not so fast, my friend. Yes, the Notre Dame start was rocky, but he comes back and starts the Friday night game versus Texas.
Yes, he does.
And he does very, very well.
He dominates for the 6 innings he's in there.
6 innings, 2 earned runs, a career high, 10
strikeouts.
10 strikeouts.
10 strikeouts.
Very exciting. 10 strikeouts. I'll say it one more time.
Holy 10 strikeouts. That's great.
10 strikeouts. The pitch count was a little high for 6 innings in the upper 90s, but overall, a very good outing for Zach Hess. And it led the Tigers to an opening game victory in the series against Texas.
Absolutely. And then the next night, Gilbert comes out and does some more of the rocky starter. They're going to have to get it together. It's
let's
one good starter out of 5 starts. Not very promising. But what is promising that started in the midweek game is the bats coming to life. They score 14 on Wednesday night. They come out against Texas Friday and Saturday and score in the double digits.
13 runs Friday, 10 last night, absolutely.
And against the Texas pitching staff, who came into the weekend only giving up 1 run per game.
Yeah, when I was previewing this game, when I was talking about it, and I was thinking about what was to come for the Tigers this weekend, I knew that the bats were going to be important, but I also knew it would be difficult because between the 3 starters, Texas had only given up 1 earned run in their series last weekend against ULL. Definitely did not stay the case this weekend.
No,
the Tigers hit, and they hit often.
Yes, they did.
And they did very, very well. And I think there was something that you wanted to talk about, something that really hit your heart last night.
something that really did mean deal. There's a player on LSU's team who, a lot of people want to say is just not a very great, play. He just keeps having doubters, but he just keeps getting on base, keeps drawing walks, keeps getting big hits and big times. And last night, LSU down 5-0 to Texas. They are looking like it's shade of last week, where they're just not doing very good. And then they start coming back, and they start getting some hits. They start scoring some runs. They tie the game up, and then Bo Jordan knocks the single, and as he's rounding first base, he flips off the pitcher. Might not have been the best thing to do, but I want him on my team because he is a baller. He is a player. He's giving you everything he has every time out there, and that's why he keeps getting these hits, even though he's not a first-round draft prospect or he's not the person who's going to hit 500, but he's going to give everything that he can to LSU. To be fair, but. No, he's not. He's going to give everything that he can to LSU, leave everything on the field, and everybody loved, not everybody, but a lot of people loved Kramer Robertson last year because
you know who his mom is?
I do.
Kim Mulkey. Did you know that? Little down the lines tidbit of information.
Did you know? She grew up in Hammond, Louisiana.
You are lying to me.
Yes, she did. Anyways, but
a polarizing player. You're right.
Bo Jordan, and he's one of my favorite players on this team, and I hope that he can continue. Even though he got a one-game suspension for today, starting Tuesday, I hope he can continue this.
He was ejected. He was ejected last night, but he's out today. But a fire that you want to see from the Tigers.
Yes,
sure.
And everybody played like that. I don't know how you lose a game.
I will say that he tends to have the haters. They're just gonna hate. But as he tells you last night, as he rounds first and flips off the pitcher, he's just gonna shake it off. But you had your love for the Jordans. Yes, you do. That's great. I have my own love that I would like to confess for the LSU baseball team.
Is it the bullpen?
It is the bullpen. You saw where I was going. The bullpen has been phenomenal. Very, very good. It's been
amazing.
You mentioned Gilbert's tough start yesterday.
Yes.
He gave up 5 runs.
Which sets up for
the remaining 5 innings of the game that a combined 4 pitchers threw for the Tigers, where they gave up no more runs.
None.
They only gave up 3 hits, 7 strikeouts between the 4 of them.
Yes.
And that is what really helped LSU stay in that baseball game. They let the offense come around, and the Tigers win it 10-5 behind a strong offensive performance and an even stronger performance from the bullpen.
Yes, the bullpen, they even last weekend, one of the positives you could bring out was the bullpen. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, they did okay, but when it's like the Dodgers and the Indians in the World Series. They left their bullpen out there too much, which is why they ended up losing those games. But if you can have your bullpen pitch, they're only supposed to pitch 3 innings a night. How many did they pitch last weekend? They pitched like 15 or 18 innings in 3 games, and you're not supposed to lean on them to do that much. But when we did lean on them, and they did do very, very well most of the weekend. And this weekend, they have done well on top of that, and they continue to be one of the strengths of this baseball team.
Well, I can tell you they're going to have another strong performance today because we're in the top of the 4th right now with Texas as we speak. Peterson, our starter, has given up 4 earned runs. The Tigers trail 4-0. As we near the midway point of that game, it's going to take another strong bullpen performance and some lighting up of the bats for the Tigers to sweep the series. But regardless, they win the series against Texas at the box.
Yes, they do.
And we'll see what happens the rest of this game.
Win of the season.
But the first series win of the season, definitely some momentum as we move forward. Next weekend we have several teams coming to town. So it'll be a little bit of a different take on a weekend, but one that I can see the Tigers certainly faring very well.
Absolutely. Next week we get to play Southeastern twice, which is always good to play our brothers from down the road.
Line up.
Line up, right? No, line down. Because
they're from Hammond, America.
They're from Hammond, America.
You know who else is from Hammond, America?
Kim Mulkey.
It all comes back to Kim. I love it.
But I'm sure you're going to get to that on the Weekly Beat this week. And so it is always good to play some of the teams from around here, some of the smaller teams.
And they're getting better. A lot of the LSU is, the big national champion, and they've done, historically really well. But the Southeasterns and the ULLs are really, and Tulane, quality baseball
ULL is very, very good.
Absolutely, no doubt. Those are teams. These are no longer, your cousins come into town and you spank them and move on. These are good games against quality opponents and teams that you can very likely see later in the season.
And you could very well lose to.
Absolutely.
As we've seen.
I love it. I think it's good for the game, especially in Louisiana. Competition is strong between all the schools out here baseball-wise, and I think that's really great.
Absolutely. It's got very good talent down here in a lot of sports, baseball and football. Basketball they have some talent. It's not always prevalent, but baseball and football, you can always lean on. There's going to be a good crop of players coming from the good old state of Louisiana.
You mentioned basketball. And I'd like to turn there now.
Yes.
The LSU basketball team led by America's favorite coach, Will Wade.
Yes.
And by America, I mean Hammond. Will Wade, who has done exceptional things. There was outside talk of a very outside, but still, we were not eliminated per se.
Bubble, like outside of the bubble,
of getting into the NCAA tournament. In order to do that, we probably needed to win out the rest of the way. We had 3 games left. And our first opponent was Georgia this weekend, and we did not win. We lose 93-82, which sticks out to me because that is a whole lot of points to give up for a team that, for the most part, has been very improved on defense this season.
Yes, but it was the same story the last time when we played them. Their best player gets on a roll, and we couldn't stop them. They kept Tremont Waters from. He scored a decent amount of points, but he shot like 6 for 20 or something similar to that, which when you're missing 70% of the shots you take, that's not very good for your best player. And they did need to win. I'm not going to say that tournament talks are completely out for this team because a lot of analysts really like this LSU basketball team because of their quality of wins.
They have 7 top 50 wins in the RPI. I mean, that is true. But they needed to win these games against these 2 teams that were 6-9.
They did.
I really think in order for them to get into the tournament, I only see our only option is for them to win the SEC tournament. And that's a long, hard road to travel.
Yeah, it is.
It's not impossible, but I think any talk of us sneaking in without winning the SEC tournament, in my opinion, slid away Saturday.
I think there's a chance if they win these next 2 games and go into the SEC tournament and make it either to the finals or the semis, there's a chance they might be able to slip in as a very low seed. I don't see it happening. I see this team as an NIT team, which I think
any postseason basketball
would have been phenomenal. Right. It would have been huge, especially because last time we had an NIT tournament we decided to deny it because we were too good for the NIT.
Which just makes no sense to me at all.
But that's an old coach. That's old news. We're not talking about that anymore. We don't talk about that basketball team. This is Will Wade basketball team.
We talk
about Will Wade.
I will say from Saturday, a couple of things that stood out. Again, which has been a case all season long, LSU out-rebounded pretty heavily. But a couple things that aren't necessarily the norm for the Tigers that I really think played a big role in their loss Saturday. We committed 12 more fouls than Georgia. Sent them to the line way too many times, and they outperformed us in assists. We are the second team in the league in assists per game, and we were out assisted 19-13.
Waters only had 3 assists,
which tells you the normal, right? Because Waters is second in the league in assists per game. So the fact that we weren't able to move the ball around as often as we do, or as consistently or as efficiently as we normally do on the floor. We were at Georgia. We were much better at home this season.
Absolutely.
Which, just makes sense in your mind. But ultimately, a defeat for the Tigers.
Yes.
All is not lost. Still 2 games to go in the regular season before
there's still a chance. There's still a chance.
So you're saying there's
still a little glimpse of life. See it right there? Right there. There's a little glimpse of life.
Must be what we noticed before the show.
No, that's what it was.
When we were.
That's what it was. Yeah, don't go towards the light. Anyway.
Whatever you do. I think it's time for the bump and run.
Yes.
I'll let you go first.
I'll go first.
You always do.
I always do. LSU gymnastics.
Hey,
they clinch at least a share of the SEC title, which they won the inaugural SEC title last year. They clinched at least a share of it. All they have to do is win this weekend, and they'll have the title for the second straight year and be the only team to have a regular season SEC title. As they keep rolling along with 197s, they're up to number 2 again this week after 2 198s last week. This gymnastics team just fantastic.
They're so good.
Dee Bro. If there's a coach you love more than Will Wade, it's Dee Bro. She's amazing. The only coach LSU has ever had in gymnastics, and she's literally built this program from the ground up.
And she has built quite the program.
And it is one of the premier programs in the nation.
Completely agree. Super, super awesome stuff. Thanks for that update.
Absolutely.
I'm going to bring it to what inevitably I always bring it to, and that is Tiger Woods.
Golf.
Sports. Golf boys.
2.0.
Tiger Woods playing back-to-back weeks.
Yeah,
he misses the cut
since like 2001.
Forever. He misses the cut last week at the Genesis and said, I need to get back out there.
Yes.
So he plays the Honda Classic this week at PGA National, and he has performed very, very well.
Yes.
It's been a very interesting tournament. The first 2 rounds scored, the par was 70. The scoring average was over 72. So the pros were getting beaten up. The wind was heavy. The rough was long.
Almost like an open championship.
It felt that way, at least in terms of scoring. And Tiger makes the cut. He's close.
He's close to the top of the leaderboard.
He started 7 shots back today, but he is in the top 10. He's tied for 9th right now, sitting at 2 under par for the day and the tournament overall. All sorts of positive things to take out of this weekend for Tiger. Do you think that it proves that he could win this year?
I think there's always a chance that Tiger can win. If he just comes out and plays the way he can. I know he wouldn't be out here playing whenever he's playing in Jupiter, Florida at his home.
Right.
He's not shooting in the 60s or shooting very well. And it just all has to come back to him in tournament play for 4 straight rounds. I think this tournament, with him playing well, can bode well for him for the rest of the year. And if he can build on it, there's a possibility he can scratch a win, maybe not in a major, but another tournament like the Honda Classic. He might be able to.
He is second in the field this week in driving distance, which for someone with a fused spine blows my mind. He's also second in the field in proximity to the hole, which tells me that he's hitting greens, but he's not making putts.
He's not hitting fairways.
He's not hitting fairways, but he's hitting some greens, and he's not making putts, and that's part of the problem. He made a mention yesterday because he shot 1 over par yesterday. To get to even par on the tournament. And he said the score that he shot was probably the highest he could have shot based on the shots that he hit because he just didn't make any birdie putts. Yeah. He just didn't make any at all. And had he made even 2 or 3 of them, he would have been closer to the final group today and would have been an even more exciting story.
In which putting, if he's hitting everything, if he's around the hole, it just takes one weekend where the putts start to fall, which that's not so much a health issue.
That's a rust.
You're looking at
that's a rust.
What you were looking at with Tiger Woods is he's coming off of injury, back surgery, knee problem. Everything's going wrong with his body. With the putter, that's not so much of you're not torquing your body, you're not hurting yourself. That's something he can work on without having to worry about overstressing his back or hurting his knees or what type of shoes he's wearing. And putting being the problem, I think, is a positive other than driving distance or
more fairways would help. Obviously, more fairways would help, but more putting would help even more. So very interesting. I take nothing but positives away from this weekend. Tiger will finish in the top 15, perhaps in the top 10. We'll see how the final holes finish up. but super exciting to see a Tiger Woods that could possibly be in contention. Come maybe the Masters. I'm getting ahead of myself,
yes.
But you get the point.
But super exciting for a Tiger. Another Tiger, Sam Burns, paired up with Tiger.
That's right.
In the final round of the Honda Classic.
Former LSU golfer. Sam
Absolutely.
Burns.
He is in his first season in the
He
pros.
was playing Q. He was on the Q School on the Web.com tour just 2 months ago.
And he's paired up with Tiger in the final round, which means he was close to the top of the leaderboard as well.
Fantastic.
And
just
one of the premier golfers for the LSU golf team a couple years ago. And he just good stuff for former Tigers in the majors. You always love to hear.
John Peterson, the golfer,
yes,
who is also from LSU, he has been on a Twitter campaign to get Tiger to come play the Zurich in New Orleans.
Oh,
because the Zurich has that team format now.
Yes, it does.
Super fun. And he's like, I need a partner. Why not Tiger Woods? And so he's been tweeting at him, and that's super fun. So we'll see what happens. I'm telling you right now, if Tiger Woods plays the Zurich Classic, I'm there. I will sleep every moment on that course until he is there. So I'm very excited about that. But let's continue with the bump and run.
Yes.
You got any more?
Let's see. Women's basketball, they are ranked.
Hey!
How about that? LSU,
Simone Augustus, Sylvia Fowles. Are they still on the team?
Yeah. No. They're winning WNBA championships. But
that's my mistake.
The women's basketball team's ranked for the first time since Lord knows when. Nikki Fargas finally gets them back to playing very good on the basketball court. They play Alabama today. Hopefully they can beat them because it's always good to beat Bama. And this is a team that could very well make the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, exciting. Very exciting. You're right. We haven't heard a whole lot of positive LSU women's basketball news in quite some time. But that was a team that was Final Four bound for quite some time. For a long
5-6 straight years.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Absolutely.
I have one final bump.
Okay, fun.
If that's okay.
That's cool.
And every now and then I mention the WWE. I'll do it again. But this time is because we have two very historic things happening tonight at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Tonight's the Elimination Chamber.
It is. Tonight is the Elimination Chamber.
It's tonight.
Yeah, right now. In just a little while. And two historic things are happening. One of them is they are having the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match.
Ooh.
Yeah, the women have just been breaking down all sorts of barriers in the WWE, whether it was the first women's Iron Man match, whether it was the first women's Money in the Bank match. Just last month we had the first women's Royal Rumble, which was the most fun ever. And now they were
30 women in it?
They did.
They have 30 women on the roster?
Well, there were some legends that came back, but that's besides the point. They had it, and it was awesome. It was really, really fun. They've had the first women's Hell in a Cell match, and now it is time for the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber.
That's good.
It is. It's one of the most dangerous matches in the WWE, but another step for the women. Alexa Bliss puts her WWE Championship on the line. Women's Championship, of course, for Raw. Super exciting stuff. Fun to watch. I'm excited about the history they're making. But there is more history being made at the Elimination Chamber tonight, and that is with the WWE signing of Ronda Rousey.
Oh, Ronda Rousey. I heard about that, actually, which is very, very exciting. I think she's going to bring a very good personality to WWE. She has a lot of fans behind her, and I am excited to see what she can do in the WWE. And I don't watch a terrible bunch, but I am a fan of Ronda Rousey, even though she got her butt kicked a couple of times. And let's see what she can do in WWE.
Well, what you just said is very important, and I think that's the reason why Ronda Rousey has made the jump to WWE. Because, one, it makes her relevant again.
Yes.
And two, it brings light to the WWE that other people made that might not have been there before. Ronda Rousey, at one point, was the baddest chick on the planet.
Yes.
She is, in my mind, and it's arguable, of course, but she is what made women UFC fights important and cool and relevant and something you wanted to see, because Ronda Rousey was dominant and she fought as hard as anyone you've seen, men or women. And so bringing her to the WWE, I have mixed emotions, because one, it brings more fans and it brings, legitimacy and all that stuff, which is great. The other part of me says, what has she done to work for it? She's the UFC champ, and that's great. But there's women WWE superstars that have been there forever, and it's kind of their thing. But,
Either
teach his own. It's good. Any publicity,
It'll
good
happen.
publicity, whatever. So Ronda Rousey starts this Sunday night for Monday Night Raw for the WWE. Super exciting.
Yes, it is. It is good fun. That is good stuff, as we like to call it.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
But
put that on T-shirts.
I'll sell it. Yeah. So that will do it for us here today on Down the Lines. Tons of fun.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back again
After the small hiatus.
Yeah, family emergencies happen. But next week we will be back. I promise. Next
Sunday.
Down the Lines.
How bad LSU beats Southeastern, or possibly lost. We're going to hope.
We're talking about that. We're talking about that.
We're going to win.
We will talk about the closing moments of the LSU basketball season as well.
Absolutely. Basketball team. Hopefully they can finish strong going into the SEC tournament.
And for the most part, Down the Lines will stay with you because we are easy like Sunday morning. We are.
That's true.
But like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
everything.
Vero, that's a social media site.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't have it, so don't follow me on that. Someone's on there that's an impersonator.
We have so many impersonators. That's the problem that we have with you. There's so many impersonators. But there is only one Cleon, isn't there?
Yes.
We'll catch you.
Down the line.